The United States of America is the land of many opportunities. With the exposure to modern living and top-notch technologies, it is no wonder it is a superpower. But some cities in this great land are more expensive than others when you're trying to achieve financial freedom, which can hinder you from building your savings. Number 10. San Francisco. No city is perfect, but San Francisco has taken the #1 spot as the most expensive city in the United States when it comes to housing. San Francisco has a staggering average monthly rent of over $3,500. A median household income per year is $96,000, while a home listing averages at, get this, $1.3 million. While San Francisco has several options for transportation, traffic and gas prices are higher. This is because your car spends more than 100 hours per year idling in traffic, which makes gas prices shoot up, costing you $1 more than the national average. Groceries and eating out are also another expensive affair in San Francisco. A typical monthly grocery budget costs $360, which is 22% higher than the national average. If you're looking to build your savings, San Francisco is probably not a city you would put on the top of your list. Number 9. Seattle. Seattle, also known as the Emerald City, is a very beautiful city surrounded by nature and greenery throughout the city all year round, thanks to the evergreen trees that don't listen to the biting, harsh winter weather. It also has no income tax, which is excellent for the residents because a 10% state income tax on a $79,000 median income, which is Seattle's monthly average income, is $7,900. However, the cost of living isn't budget-friendly. Housing is very expensive, with rent for a single-family home averaging at $2,950. In 2019, Seattle was the 5th most expensive city in the United States, and as much as the jobs are well-paying, housing can put a big dent in your finances. Buying a home is also expensive, with the housing market hitting an all-time high of $765,000. Other costs, such as groceries, transportation, and eating out, are also very high, which eats into the budget, making it very difficult for Seattle residents to make big milestones in saving. Living there is awesome, but some smart saving skills are called for if you want to put something away for a rainy day. Number 8. Miami. Miami, being voted as one of the coolest and most stylish cities with the best nightclubs and other amenities, is a sight for sore eyes. But it's also anything but budget-friendly. With a median income of $34,000 and an average rent of $2,500, the city has expensive taste, which makes it one of the worst cities in the U.S. to save money. The unemployment rate stands at 5%, with an average home listing of $459,000. Miami is expensive when it comes to housing and gas prices. This makes the cost of living 15% higher than the national average, which is a huge number to consider. But all is not doom and gloom in this Florida city with excellent weather. There's no state income or personal tax. This makes the city good for business, which thrives there. Public transportation is also cheaper than in some large cities, while groceries are more expensive in Miami than in other cities. That said, you can choose to cut down on your expenses. Because Miami's rent is expensive, finding neighborhoods that suit your housing budget can save you from paying insanely high rent prices. Find grocery stores that have affordable prices and healthy options by figuring out who has the best deals on dry foods, meats, and dairy, which can save you a lot of money. Number 7. New Orleans. New Orleans has made a name for itself when it comes to parties and Mardi Gras. This party town has a whopping 14.47 million visitors in 2017 because of its flamboyant parades, jazz, and Creole cuisine. In New Orleans, housing, though cheaper than in some major cities, is 1% higher than the national average, while transportation such as bus fare and gas prices are 5% higher than the national average. With a population of nearly 400,000 people, New Orleans has a median household income of $55,710, with only 8% of the population and more than $200,000 annually. A single person is estimated to spend about $973 without rent, while the average amount in rent is $1,200. To build up your savings, you can decide to not move to New Orleans, but if you're already living there, you can practice frugal living tips to help you budget and trim expenses. Number 6. Los Angeles. Los Angeles has a population of more than 3 million people, and while the cost of living is high, especially on housing, the median income is on the lower side compared to some other major cities. Los Angeles averages $54,500 annual income, while single-family houses rent at $3,800. The cost of gas is very high because a staggering number of commuters choose to use private means more than public transport. Buying property is also very expensive, especially for expatriate families because it is difficult to break into the housing market due to it being very expensive. If you're thinking of moving to Los Angeles, you should be prepared for major costs because of the lifestyle change you would have to get familiar with. Before you move, it is important to know the pros and cons of moving and decide whether it's a city you would like to live in. If you want to build your savings, Los Angeles is not the best place to live in or relocate to. Number 5. Boston. In Boston, Massachusetts, rent is not the only expensive area. Eating out and buying groceries can also put a dent in your finances. A study conducted by Business Insider found that Boston is the second most expensive city for people who want to buy real estate, rivaled only by San Francisco. Boston also has high technology, which increases market prices because the amenities are also high-end. For example, the average monthly rent is more expensive than most major cities in the United States because the demand is extremely high and the supply is very low. Food is also expensive, accounting for an average of $349 per month per person. This means that groceries alone for 4 people would cost $1,396 a month. This makes it difficult to save as the cost of living goes up regularly. The average cost of owning a house is close to $800,000, which is quite high compared to most major cities. And with an average annual income of $62,000 and a monthly rent of $3,000, many people find it difficult to save regularly because of the demands of the high costs of living. Number 4. Fresno. Fresno, California has a 6% higher cost of living than the national average, with a median household income of $50,432 and an average monthly rent of $1,300, which is a 14% increase compared to the previous year. Housing, transport, and utilities are 2% higher than the national average for housing. Utility prices are 26% higher than the national average, and transportation expenses such as public transport bus fare and gas prices being 10% higher than the national average. Food and groceries are also 5% higher than the national average. This means that if you want to save money, Fresno wouldn't be the right city for you, as you have to dig deeper into your pocket to make ends meet, which defeats the purpose of building your savings. Number 3. San Jose. According to Go Banking Rates, San Jose is one of the cities that has a good median household income. It is also the 3rd highest city in the United States in rent and housing costs, with a median annual income of $96,000 and a monthly rent for a single-family home averaging at $3,700, which is 81% higher than the national average. Also, average home listings cost $725,000. Besides high housing rates, groceries and gas are also on the higher side, while other goods and services cost 27% more than the national average. This makes it unfavorable for people that are looking to build their savings. This by no means is to say that San Jose is not an awesome place to live. With its vintage aura, you can make your income work for you, especially if you find a side hustle. You can also try to incorporate frugal skills to save as much as you can without having to go into debt. Number 2. New York City. The average household annual income in New York City is $57,700, while the cost of rent per month is $2,400. This means that housing can cost you up to half your monthly income depending on how much you earn per month and what your living situation is. For example, a single person living in New York is estimated to spend $1,350 without including rent. With a population of over 8 million people, housing is very expensive, with home listings averaging at $699,000. While gas prices are slightly lower than in most major cities, groceries and other goods and services cost more, as well as property due to inflated prices. Despite New York being one of the most iconic locations in the world, it is a tough place to live in if you're trying to make your way to financial freedom. Before we get into the number 1 spot, make sure to check out the links in the description for our best recommendations to boost your savings. Number 1. San Diego. San Diego, California has some of the most beautiful beaches, but living expenses have made it very difficult for Californians to keep up with building savings. With a population of more than 1.3 million people, the average household income is $71,353 per year. This makes it difficult to save enough money to achieve financial freedom. The unemployment rate is 4.7%, while average home listings are $589,900 and upwards. The average rent is $3,095 for a single-family home. And while gas is cheaper in San Diego than in some cities, standing at $2.48, the cost of living is high, and the steadily increasing population is not helping matters. But if your life and heart are in San Diego, you don't have to move. There are always ways you can cut your budget and save yourself some money, such as automating your savings, rooming with other people, buying your groceries on sale, among others. Work around your living situation and practice a frugal lifestyle to cut back on your expenses and bills. The beaches are great places to visit to clear your mind and find frugal entertainment that helps you save money. Make sure to check out the next video. You're going to get a ton of value from that one. We'll see you there.